In ancient Egyptian civilization, mummies were made to protect the dead from natural destruction and decay. Many bodies from about 3,000 to 4,000 years ago are still intact. It was really impossible to believe how they preserved the bodies for such a long time. However, the process of making mummies is no longer a mystery. Archaeologists and Egyptologists have been able to uncover the secret of making mummies after much research. The process of making mummies of the ancient Egyptians will be discussed in this episode. If you are new to the channel, I request you to subscribe and click on the bell icon. According to the ancient Egyptians, the dead go through several stages. They believed that they would meet the Lord of the afterlife after death, so their bodies were prepared beautifully. They believed that after death, a dead person was presented before 42 gods. There, the heart of the dead person was measured. If someone's heart was heavy, that person was considered a tyrant and a bad person. The gods immediately destroy him, and whoever has a light heart will attain eternal happiness and peace. Because of this idea, the Egyptians gave great importance to the preparation for the afterlife. They also thought that after death, they would live in heaven as long as their bodies were preserved. So they started making mummies to give stability to the mortal body. They believed that through this they achieved holiness. Initially, only kings were mummified. Kings served as kings of the dead after their death. However, later, when someone died, the elite and wealthy people of ancient Egypt had to make mummies. For this, they had to go through a long ritual. These works were done in great secrecy, and the process continued for 70 days. The work of making mummies began from the 4th day after the death of a person. The initial stages of making mummies were very scary and unhealthy. First, the brain was taken out with a hook from the person's nose. Then the left side of the body was cut, and all the internal organs were taken out. Then the whole body was washed with a special type of alcohol. Then, various types of herbs and aromatic substances were stuffed inside the body. Although the other internal organs were removed, the heart was left in place, because they believed that the heart was the center of all knowledge. No person could go to the grave without his heart. In addition, the success and failure of a person were determined by measuring the heart. After placing the heart inside the body and sewing it, the whole body was smeared with vegetable oil. After cleaning the body, this process took about 2 weeks to complete. After the initial stage of cleaning the body was completed, the body was placed in a tub. This tub was filled with a type of salt called natron. Then the body, along with the salt, was allowed to dry in the sun. The salt mixture and the water in the body of the corpse took about 40 days to dry. The internal organs of the body were also dried separately in the same process and then placed in 4 pots with the mummy. These pots were called Ken pictures. After the body was dried, a type of ointment was applied to the whole body again. After the process of preparing the dead body was completed, the work of mummification began. A special type of linen cloth was used to wrap the mummy. The quality of this cloth varied from person to person. The richest people were given the highest quality linen, while the relatively poor were wrapped in poor cloth. A dead body was wrapped in 20 yards of cloth. For this reason, hundreds of yards of linen were needed. It took about 2 weeks to wrap the mummy's body. A talisman charm was tied to each layer of the body, so that the body could wake up again after going to the grave. After completing all these processes, mummification took about 70 days, after which these mummies were placed in their protected graves. According to their belief, the dead enter their afterlife from there. In addition to protecting the dead physically through mummification, the bodies are placed in special coffins to prevent weather damage. A protected grave was built deep in the ground, and the coffins were kept inside it. Several types of coffins have been found so far. In the past, people of the upper class were used in multiple coffins. Burial in one coffin with another coffin inside is called a net set coffin. However, what is surprising is that several stone coffins have been found. These stone coffins are called sarcophagus. The ministers or important people of the royal court of ancient Egypt were buried in these sarcophagus. Stone coffins were placed about 150 feet deep in the ground. It was believed that people would need various things, including wealth, even after death. Therefore, these types of tombs were often filled with valuables, including gold and silver. This was one of the main attractions for thieves and robbers. Researchers have examined the inside of May